Everyone, Pierre here. In this quick video, I want to share something that we're doing for another company, which I thought would be very relevant to share given the AI era that we're entering in. So, every company has a way of finding out if like other companies or prospects could be interested in their product or service. We call these signals or triggers, right? If a company just raised funding, you can assume that they're looking to hire more talent. If a marketing executive just joined a new team, they may be willing to take more risks and invest in like a MarTech product, right? So all of these signals are great for companies to collect, right? They're great intelligence for company to collect. And what I've noticed is that most companies don't actually capitalize on this data if they even collect it to begin with. So part of what we do here at GTM Partner is, aside from the whole B2B prospecting via personalized relevant outreach, we create systems that pick up on these signals constantly and feed that data into our client CRM in real time, like dynamically. So the idea is you build this intent engine that never sleeps. Then the clients can then use this intent data as they wish, right? They can create content out of it because they know what sort of content is going to resonate based on which signals they're picking up on in real time. They can run, or in GTM Partners case, what we do a lot of is we create emails that are hyper relevant because we use these signals as part of the content in our emails. So again, you could call this a sort of like intent intelligence engine, but let me just show you an example of what this looks like in real life. And we're using Clay obviously to do this. Alrighty. So when looking at this Clay table, I want to focus on one section of it specifically, and that is the relevant search agents that I've created. Again, I'm calling these relevant search agents. You can call them whatever you want. But the idea here is that with a simple company name as an input, we're able to pick up on any like relevant recent signals that are relevant for my client specifically. So backtracking a little bit, we extracted CRM data from our client's database, and then we push that data into Clay and are using Clay's native Clayagent function. So Clayagent is Clay's like AI agent that they made to go and find signals of the companies that they already have in their CRM. So you, the watcher, probably work for or are the owner of a company. You have a CRM in place of like companies that you want to go after, that you want to keep track of, maybe that are in the pipeline. And if you're able to pick up on different signals that indicate a need for your product or service, that's probably good information to capture, right? So the idea is to push your CRM data into Clay, capture the signal data, and then push it back into your CRM so that your sales team, your content team, your marketing team can have access to this data in real time. So let's just look into like the prompt for one of these relevant search agents. So we are trying to pick up on different sorts of signals, whether there's a new finance leader, maybe a new funding round, different layoffs, product launches, buyer engagement. We're saying this event must have happened in the last 6 months. So we're being pretty thorough with our prompt, and we're also giving it a JSON schema for the output. And what this allows us to do, the JSON part, is have like structured data as the output. So it's able to give us different columns that we can then use, right? So funding round, the source, the summary of the signal, where it picked it up from, the confidence level, the AI's reasoning. We can actually push all of this data into your CRM directly because we decided to structure it as a JSON. So we actually get structured data from this output. So in this case, we're getting funding round, new finance leader, product launch. And because we gave it categories in the input, it's going to give us these same categories in the output. And so, so this is to avoid hallucination so that the AI agent isn't going to give us like a ton of different output types, right? And so I just want to show you something also really quick. These are the different AI models that we can leverage in Clay. Right now we're using Argon. Just given the complexity of the prompt itself, we need to scrape different websites, press releases, LinkedIn profiles, where, like to go above and beyond to go and find these signals all over the internet. So we're going to use Argon, which is 3 credits per row. You could also leverage your OpenAI API. If you use Anthropic, we find this being really good for copywriting. You can also use that here. Gemini, like this list is just getting bigger every week. But this is an example of where we're using Anthropic, right? This is a good segue. We are using this signal data to actually create hyper relevant copy. So we're using it to create email openers. So let me give you an example. Congrats on this would be the first line of an email based on the signal that we picked up on. So congrats on stepping into the CFO role at Quantella. I imagine cloud costs and FinOps are already on your radar as you look to optimize spending. So super relevant to the company and to the person itself. People love talking about themselves. If you're able to mention that you saw that they're new in their job in the first line of an email, that's pretty relevant. And then you're using that relevance and that opener to tie to tie that into your value proposition, into your product or service. And so eventually we're going to be doing outbound for this client too, but we're also pushing all of this intent data over here into their CRM so that they can create hyper relevant content around this, right? We can actually target the audiences with specific content based on the signal that we found online. So again, sky's the limit here. Just wanted to show this quick example with you. Let me know if you have any thoughts. And if you want someone to build this out for you without having to hire like a team to do this, because typically you would hire a bunch of entry-level account researchers to go and do this manual research. Now with a couple clay tables, we can do this research at scale and set it up so that it's dynamic. And so let me actually show you what I mean by that. If we go to the source here, we can actually run this on a schedule. So in this case, we have it running every 30 days. So every 30 days, we can go and pull company data that is relevant for us and push that into your CRO. Hopefully you see the power of these intent engines, and looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks again. Bye.